Hi everyone, and welcome to this section of the orientation here at Lake Tahoe Community College. In this particular track, we'll be focusing on everything involved in being a face-to-face instructor here at LTCC. Obviously, as that name implies, if you're a face-to-face instructor, you teach in a face-to-face format. So I'm currently in B103 here at the college, and this is one of our newly renovated classrooms, and I hope you get a chance, if you're teaching here, to check out this classroom as well as A208 and upstairs A251. These are radically different classrooms. They've been remodeled with state-of-the-art technology, these smart screens that allow you to do so much, a podium of multimedia options and tools. As you can see, really cool modular furniture and desks that allow you to move everything and really customize your classroom to the needs of your students. For example, small group work, working on projects, doing collaborative work. When LTCC began this process of talking about changing some of these classrooms over, and we're calling these our 3 prototype classrooms, the conversation was really focusing on the shift in face-to-face classrooms, such that we're moving away from those traditional models of a classroom in which a teacher stands in front, has a podium or lectern, and then students are arranged in rows. And I'll put up on a screen here some shots, because I actually used to teach in B103 quite frequently, as I taught more anthropology and sociology in the past. And as you can see, it was a very traditional classroom. This is that same classroom that has been retrofitted, really revamped from the foundations. So you can see the textures of the wall, the boards around the room, just the emphasis on aesthetics and design, which I think our students are coming to appreciate more just because of the kinds of spaces that they interact with on an everyday basis when they go into a shopping mall, go into a cafe, or some sort of lifestyle store, even a museum. So the space is reflecting that. You see that in the carpet, you see that in the furniture, in terms of the design. But also in terms of the design of the room itself. And over here, I'll show you a shot of this. We have a slew of whiteboards that are particularly handy, I was going to say, for math teachers or science teachers if students are working in groups doing equations or solving the quadratic formula or whatever. But actually it would be very useful in a social science class. Actually in the day I used to teach in this classroom, and I would often have students take these whiteboards or take pieces, big sticky notes basically on the wall, and do group work based on moving around the room. This really solves that need, right? So you don't have to bring in the pads of paper, you don't have to deal with the markers and all that kind of stuff. Taping things to the wall, I always remember as an instructor, when I was done and I had to get to my next class, and if the next class was even in the same classroom, I had to tear all that stuff down. So there was time involved. This sense of approach here with these whiteboards already serving 2 functions. One is a traditional whiteboard, but 2 is it serves as your curtain on the window. So if you have sun, you can obviously close that and you can adjust the lighting in the room. So really a smart approach to thinking about what the classroom of today should look like. And I want to offer, as you're thinking about teaching here on campus, as you're starting your journey, if you're teaching face-to-face, this focus on the classroom from the beginning as a space, as a place where students engage with you, the instructor, engage with other students. It's so important just in terms of that student's journey. In my other life, I do quite a bit of research and consulting on the design of spaces for lifestyle venues, for theme parks, for casinos, cruise ships, museums, and so forth. And I can tell you in that work that it's paramount that you think about the layout of that space, both in terms of the form and the function. So the form, does it look nice? Do people feel comfortable in that space? The function, in this case, can we move things around such that it serves a practical role in terms of the pedagogy that you're delivering to our students here in that classroom? So the fact that we're moving towards this in more of our classroom spaces, I'm shooting this video in 2019, but I feel like in the future, these prototype spaces will become more the norm on campus, and it's one way of many ways in which LTCC is really making itself competitive in terms of not just other schools, but other spaces out there. We've discovered that with the decline of, say, brick and mortar stores in our everyday lives, and as people are moving towards online stores and venues to purchase things, people crave experiences and spaces that have experiences. Thinking about the experience that your student has in a face-to-face class here at LTCC, I think should be a first step in terms of taking that journey, particularly as you're working here as a new faculty member. So what we'll be doing in this track is not just talking about our face-to-face spaces and talking about the design and how it operates. That's a key part of this. But we'll be talking about some of the strategies that you might employ as an instructor for students in your face-to-face classes. Those strategies I think you might discover for those of us who have taught in all three modalities that we offer, face-to-face, distance education, and ISP or incarcerated students program. Those modalities differ. So we'll talk about some techniques. We'll do some workshops on campus. We'll have those available for you if you live locally. If you don't, we're going to live stream all those, and we're going to archive those as videos here on this website and also on my YouTube page. So we encourage you really, with your fellow faculty, myself included, to think critically about the nature of your teaching, to ask some questions, to raise some concerns, to offer advice. For example, if you're teaching in a classroom here at the college and something isn't working out, make that known to your department lead, let me know, and we can pass that on. Likewise, if something is working, let us know that as well, because in the future, as we think about rolling out more of these spaces, we will definitely want to think about how they work for you, the part-time face-to-face instructor here at Lake Tahoe Community College. So we're going to jump into some more of the materials, but again, welcome to this track for those of you who are teaching as a face-to-face instructor here at LTCC, and let's get started then with some more of those materials.